Oscar nominations are out. Who got snubbed and who has a good chance of walking away with some of the biggest awards in cinema? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome to the Pop Culture Life. I'm John Lunsford, and the nominations are out for the 97th Academy Awards, and there are some surprises in some areas and not so much in others. So let's dive right in. First, the big category, Best Picture. I'd say most of these are expected, but let's go through them in alphabetical order. First up, Anora. This film features Mikey Madison as Annie, short for Anora, who is a stripper in Brooklyn and gets her chance to get out and live that lavish lifestyle thanks to Vanya, the son of a Russian oligarch who is here to study, but instead prefers to play video games and party. They get married. Vanya wants a green card. She wants the lavish lifestyle, and it kind of has shades of a more present-day Pretty Woman. But once news reaches Russia and Vanya's parents, their fairy tale marriage is threatened. And look, this has been an Oscar contender really all year. At one point, it was the favorite to win Best Picture, but it slipped a little lately in favor of a few other contenders. It's been nominated for 6 Oscars, and it's still very much in the mix, especially Mikey Madison to potentially win Best Actress. Second up, The Brutalist. This one I haven't seen yet because it's not getting its wide release until January 24th, but it's a 200-minute plus epic period drama starring Adrian Brody as a Hungarian-born Jewish Holocaust survivor who immigrates to the United States and struggles from there to achieve the American dream. Look, there's been a lot of buzz behind this film. It's A24's main push this year at the Oscars, and it's tied for the second most nominations this year with 10. It's won Best Drama and Best Actor in a Drama and Best Director at the Golden Globes, so we'll see what happens here at the Oscars. Next up, a complete unknown. This follows the early days of Bob Dylan, who's played by Timothée Chalamet, and kind of his introduction into the folk music scene. It's nominated for 8 total awards, including Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor for Ed Norton, and Best Director for James Mangold. We'll see if it can win. Timothée Chalamet's kind of been one of the favorites maybe for an Oscar, but didn't win at the Golden Globes. Conclave is the next one up. It's a political thriller style type of movie about electing a new pope after the previous one unexpectedly passes away. Follows Ralph Fiennes as Cardinal Lawrence, who is tasked to manage everything with the election of the new pope. And once all the cardinals are sequestered in the Vatican, things go crazy, alliances are formed, and it's kind of a fascinating look into the process. Now, it's all fictionalized, and it's got its own twists and turns, but it's a very well-done film, one of my favorite of the year, and it's tied with a complete unknown with 8 total nominations. Dune Part 2 comes in as another nomination here. It was supposed to release in 2023. It didn't. It ended up coming out this past year instead. This is one of my favorite of the year. It's the second half of the Denis Villeneuve adaptation of the 1965 novel Dune by Frank Herbert. It stars Timothée Chalamet as well, and Zendaya, who has had a huge year, but really hasn't gotten any recognition for it in award season between this and Challengers. I think, it coming out in the first quarter of the year may have hurt it a little bit because it's been overshadowed by a lot more. It was supposed to come out in late 2023, like I mentioned, and be a contender last year at the Oscars, but the strike pushed it up to be in early 2024. It's only nominated for 5 awards. It'll likely grab a technical award or 2 or 3, but I don't really expect it to be a contender for Best Picture. It's a shame. It really was a great movie, but who knows? Maybe there's hope that Dune Messiah, the third movie in this trilogy, will kind of get the Return of the King treatment and win a bunch of awards. Emilia Perez is the next one on the list. It's been a big topic of conversation after it won the most Golden Globes, which, isn't necessarily the best indicator due to the way the awards are chosen, but still makes you wonder. Once those awards come out, then people vote on the Academy Awards, and we just got the nominations. Now people will vote on which they think should win. This film led all others with 13 nominations, and it makes it the most nominated foreign film ever, passing Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and Roma. This film follows a Mexican cartel leader who enlists the help of an underrated lawyer to help her disappear by transitioning into a woman. It's a musical crime film that's mostly in Spanish, although it's actually nominated as a French film. Carla Sofia Gascon and Zoe Saldana are nominated for their roles as well, and it's nominated in most major categories except actor, since it's largely a female cast. What's interesting with this one is the public perception versus award perception. It's got a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't bad, but it has a 33% audience score and a 2.6 average on Letterboxd with a lot of low ratings. It'll be interesting to see what happens with it come Oscar time. Another foreign film is nominated for Best Picture with I'm Still Here, so Emilia Perez is not a shoo-in for Best Foreign Film. I'm Still Here is a Brazilian film which has a lot of buzz going around it, especially going into Venice. It had a lot of buzz, and it kind of fell off a little bit, and now it's back in a big way. A lot of it is thanks to Fernanda Torres winning the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Drama, and it's starting to release around the world now, with a wide release coming in America on Valentine's Day. So It'll be interesting to see what happens with this one as we go through the voting process. The film follows Fernanda Torres as a mother and activist coping with the forced disappearance of her husband, a politician during the military dictatorship in Brazil. This is the only other nominee I haven't seen yet since it hasn't released in America, but the trailer does look really good, and I can tell just from the trailer why Torres is someone to watch out for when it comes to the Best Actress conversation. Next up, Nickel Boys chronicles the friendship between two young black teenagers who are sent to an abusive reform school in 1960s Florida called Nickel Academy. It's kind of inspired by a real reform school called Dozier School for Boys, which was notorious for its abusive treatment of students. The film is directed by Ramel Ross and comes off a book, so it is an adapted screenplay, and it has an interesting perspective in the film with it largely being shot from a first-person standpoint. It goes back and forth between the two main characters, Elwood and Turner. It's a little confusing, but it's also kind of cool to watch. It only got nominated for Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay, and I don't really expect it to win anything, but I do think it's a great achievement for Ross. And while it's not one of my favorites of the year, I think there is an important story being told here, and I think Ross has put his name out there as someone to watch in the future. The Substance is a bit of a surprise in the last few months with how much it's shot up in the conversation. The film's one of the few horror films to be nominated lately, as it follows Demi Moore playing Elizabeth Sparkle, an aging Hollywood star who's dismissed from her long-running aerobic show due to her age. She then uses a black market drug called The Substance and creates a much younger version of herself, which is played by Margaret Qualley, but there are major side effects and things go crazy from there. It's nominated for 5 awards total. Demi Moore, I think, is now one of the favorites for Best Actress. I kind of wondered if maybe Margaret Qualley may sneak in there. I feel like she's probably even in the movie even more than Demi Moore is, but she was left out. It did get nominated for Best Director and Original Screenplay, and probably has a good chance at makeup and hairstyling as well, because if you've seen the movie, you know why. Wicked is the final movie nominated for Best Picture for a hot minute there. Wicked was a favorite for everything. When it came out, we were talking about Titanic levels of potential wins, but it's quickly faded because it's been nominated a lot but hasn't won much. It's kind of how it was at the Golden Globes. It was nominated for 4 awards, but only won the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award. It's tied with The Brutalist for the second most nominations behind Emilia Perez with 10. But I'm curious how many it'll actually win. Variety has them ranked 4th now and doesn't really have them winning any of the main awards like Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress. But it does have it down for a few technical awards, and I can see Wicked and Dune basically cleaning those up. So we'll see. You know, it's tough with awards for a movie like this because while music may be the best in this movie, none of it is original. So you can't win awards because it's Best Original Score, Best Original Song. So we'll see. Some snubs for Best Picture. I thought Sing Sing might get a nomination. I thought it might get in there instead of Nickel Boys or The Substance. A Real Pain as well. I feel like kind of got pushed behind with the push for The Substance lately. Juror Number 2 had a lot of buzz going for it, but it missed out. September 5th as well, missed out on Best Picture. So those are the Best Picture nominees. I've gone over a lot of the other categories within these films because a lot of them overlap, but let's take a look at the major category nominations real quick. First up, Best Director, Sean Baker for Anora. A lot of people like The Florida Project. He's finally getting his due here. Brady Corbett for The Brutalist won the Golden Globe for Best Director. James Mangold was one of those you weren't sure if he was going to get nominated or not. A lot of people know him probably from Logan. He's done a lot of really big films. Good to see him get some recognition here. Jacques Audiard from Emilia Perez been nominated before for a foreign language film with A Prophet, so we'll see if he pulls off the win this year. And then Coralie Fargi from The Substance, a surprise nomination. A lot of people thought Edward Berger from Conclave would be a favorite to potentially even win, but he wasn't nominated. The Substance has had a lot of buzz, and it's definitely gone up for that. Some snubs. I mentioned Edward Berger from Conclave. Maybe John M. Chu could have gotten in for Wicked, and then Denis Villeneuve from Dune also not getting nominated here. For Best Actor, you have Adrian Brody, who won the Golden Globe for drama. You have Timothée Chalamet from A Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo from Sing Sing. Sing Sing was left off the Best Picture list. I thought it actually may get in, but I think Coleman Domingo was actually the best of the year, in my opinion. I'm glad he got a nomination here. You have Ray Fiennes from Conclave, and then you have Sebastian Stan from The Apprentice. He easily could have been nominated for A Different Man, too. He was great in both roles, and I think there's a chance he could even come in here and potentially win. Adrian Brody, like I mentioned, won the Golden Globe for drama, but Sebastian Stan did win the comedy/musical award for A Different Man. So having 2 major performances, A Different Man and then playing Trump in The Apprentice, that really could help him come Oscar time. You also have Daniel Craig, who was snubbed. Hugh Grant, a lot of people thought might get a nomination. Jesse Eisenberg as well, I thought may could work his way in there from A Real Pain, but he did not get nominated. At Best Actress, you have Cynthia Erivo from Wicked, who played Elphaba. You have Carla Sofia Gasson from Emilia Perez. Mikey Madison, I mentioned, from Anora. Demi Moore from The Substance. And Fernanda Torres, who won the Drama Award at the Golden Globes for I'm Still Here. No real surprises here. If you want some snubs, maybe Pamela Anderson from The Last Showgirl. She's kind of been nominated in some things and not, been nominated in other awards. And, Nicole Kidman from Baby Girl kind of was floating there as a potential also, but neither one of those were nominated here. For Best Supporting Actor, Yura Borisov from Anora has really, come up lately. Kieran Culkin from A Real Pain seems to be the runaway favorite, but I could see maybe Borisov pop in there and potentially get a win. Ed Norton from A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce from The Brutalist, and then Jeremy Strong, who played Roy Cohn in The Apprentice. So multiple Succession cast members here. While I fully expect Kieran Culkin to run away with this, I am glad Jeremy Strong got some recognition. I thought it was really good in that film. One big snub I thought might get a nomination was Clarence Macklin from Sing Sing. He's one of the real prisoners that was in the movie. I thought did an incredible job. I thought everybody did an incredible job in that movie. I mentioned already it's one of my favorite of the year. Thought he might get a nomination, but he didn't. Stanley Tucci from Conclave, also one of those hanging out there that didn't get a nomination. For Best Supporting Actress, you have Monica Barbaro, who played Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande, who played Galinda in Wicked, Felicity Jones from The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini was very good in Conclave, and then Zoe Saldana from Emilia Perez, who won a Golden Globe and could potentially win here. Some snubs, I mentioned Marco Qualley, thought Mike could get a nomination for The Substance. Selena Gomez didn't get nominated for Emilia Perez. There was a while there he thought she was going to get a nomination, and a lot of people thought maybe Jamie Lee Curtis from The Last Showgirl would get a nomination. She did not get one here. For Best Original Screenplay, you have Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain. This is where Jesse Eisenberg has a chance to win, September 5th, and The Substance, like I mentioned early on. From Best Adapted Screenplay, you have A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, the second Oscar it was nominated for, and you do have Sing Sing here as well. One more category. It's not really considered a major category when it comes to the best films of the year, but you do have to always talk about the best animated films of the year. You have Flow, which was also nominated for Best Foreign Film as well. A really good movie. Doesn't have any talking in it, but it's a very powerful story still to watch. I highly recommend going to watch that. Inside Out 2, Pixar always knows what they're doing, especially with Inside Out, and they hit a home run with Inside Out 2 year. You have Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, which is always a fun name to say, and then The Wild Robot, which I think has a good chance to win. Either The Wild Robot or Flow, I would imagine, would be the two that can get in there and win. You also have maybe Moana 2 as a snub just because of Disney, but obviously Pixar with Inside Out 2, that's still a Disney movie as well. So there you have it. The 97th Academy Award nominations are out. Who do you think got snubbed? Who do you think will pull off wins in the various categories? Let us know, and make sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss out on any more content, including movie reviews, industry news, and more right here on The Pop Culture Life.